Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Joe Ingram, aka Chicago Joey. For anyone that might be new to my channel or my podcast that might be coming here for Quentin today, welcome to the show. Been playing poker online professionally for the last 9 years, been doing podcasts for the last 2.5 years. And on my podcast, we try to have people who are some of the most successful people in the world at what they do on to talk about themselves and talk about what it is that allows them to have the success that they have. And joining me today is one of my favorite people in the world to talk to, and I mean that when I say it. For those people out there, you sometimes have a friend who you hit up whenever you just want to get some motivation, whenever you want to feel some energy, whenever you want to feel some excitement, someone you can talk to. And whenever you talk to them, you always take something away from the conversation with them, whether it's you feel motivated, you get an idea, you just feel really good after you talk to them. And this guy for me is certainly one of those guys in my life that whenever I talk with him, I feel like I just end up learning one or two things and feeling pretty great about myself after we get done talking. And this is my buddy Quentin, aka HuskyMUDKIPZ. What's up, buddy? Welcome officially to the podcast, my friend.
Dude, it's been a while coming, huh? Thank you very much for that amazing intro. Shoot, how can I follow that up? Like, geez, we're just gonna have to end the podcast after this because that was I don't think I can match that. Damn.
I gotta be real with the people, man. So I want to tell people a little bit about Quentin before we get started here. Quentin is so you guys always hear about these professional YouTubers, these people who genuinely make a living from making YouTube videos. Now, I didn't think they actually existed before I met this guy. But no, they exist. So Quentin is a professional YouTuber, he's a professional gamer, makes a living off making YouTube videos. He has been making mainly videos in the Minecraft world for the past bunch of years. Yeah. In terms of YouTube, he has 1.8, under 1.8. He's losing them, man. 1.8 million subscribers. 1.8 million for comparison. I have about 17,000 subscribers on YouTube. So from a subscriber perspective, he's doing pretty well. He's got over 200 million views on his videos. He's got a very large fan base of people who really enjoy his stuff. And he's a very, very entertaining guy. And also one of the smartest people I know. So there's an intro for you, my friend.
And yeah. Thank you. I mean, I don't know what to say. That was just a sick intro. Yeah, like you said, I've been mainly making Minecraft videos for a while. I've decided to start transitioning into actually defining my audience more as kid-friendly and non-kid-friendly, just because I think just doing Minecraft videos isn't that great, at least now, for me. But yeah, I was making Minecraft videos for a very long time, primarily, for 3 years, I'd say.
So making Minecraft videos for 3 years. So now you mentioned your audience kid friendly. So your audience, the main demographic of your channel is what?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm having a little bit of issues where previously, and this is when I was having the majority of my success, I was cursing up a storm. I really didn't care about the type of content I was making insofar as I didn't care about censoring myself. I was just making kind of YouTube videos and having fun. But I had an experience where I went to a convention in the UK, and while I was there, I was doing some meet and greets, and this 6 to 7 year old girl comes up to me and says something along the lines of, "I really like your Pokemon and Minecraft videos." And I'm just thinking to myself while I'm looking at her and "Oh, thank you," and saying that to her and her parents. I'm just why the hell are you watching those videos? I curse up a storm, it's not exactly appropriate. I don't think I would want my kids watching that, right? So I was thinking to myself, I got to make a change. And at first, my change was to just stop cursing. And I think, at least now that I'm thinking about it, that might have been a mistake, because I didn't really switch up much. It was just I just stopped cursing, but I was still doing the same videos. My audience kind of got used to it. And I started to feel more I'm not really trying to make the same videos as I was before. It's I'm trying to make video. I'm imagining myself hanging out with my little cousin sitting beside me, playing a game with him, trying to show him how to play the game. Because I know my little cousin wouldn't know how to play as well. So, you'd show him how to play and then you play with him, right? And that's kind of where I was coming from. And then I was I can't, I got to define this. Or at least recently I've been trying to think that. So started up a new uncensored gaming channel, which is more in my previous kind of vein of things where just letting loose. but I'm really working on making sure that I define what my audience is, who I'm reaching or trying to reach, and really trying to make sure that it's not even making sure. It's just like I'm in a different state of mind when I'm recording Minecraft as when I'm recording Grand Theft Auto 5, because like different games. I don't know.
For those that don't know, Minecraft out there, I actually, the only reason I know what Minecraft is because my little brother used to watch it when he was younger. Now he's 17, so he doesn't really watch much Minecraft. And because of your videos, where I turn them on and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. So I'm gonna watch a little bit of Quentin and then I'm gonna turn on. I don't know what's going on with these the game. So it's like what is like a world builder game where you build. What do you do? I don't know.
That's kind of like the base of it. Like the base of Minecraft is that it's like a world you can kind of rip apart and tear apart and do whatever you want with it, like a world of Legos. But then you have the ability to mod it, and you have online servers that can make it so that you can like play different mini games that like you wouldn't be able to do on your own. You can play with friends. Like there's an entire different variety of game within the game. And then when it comes to YouTube, there's even a different variety within the content. Like there's something called role play videos, which are essentially I'd say they're essentially like children's television shows, but they're called role play videos because that's just how it started out. Like it's these YouTubers who are role playing characters within a show. Like it's actually kind of like a television show. A lot of them are making their own like groups, aka studios, to make these shows because this is what kids want to watch. I mean, it's the new Saturday morning cartoons.
It's crazy, man. It's professional. There's so much strategy that goes into being a professional YouTuber. So you're making a I mean, you live in Vancouver now. You moved from Vancouver. You moved to Vancouver from being in the Midwest in Canada. So you're able to make a pretty comfortable living just by making these YouTube videos. Then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of room, especially if you can get yourself a following, and especially if you're making like as long as you're just. I feel like there's so many people who get into it they're just trying to make videos, but like if you make content where you're just trying to like make the best type of show as possible, like you can actually make a living from even a lower amount of views than you would be able to if you were like just trying to pump out lots of videos really quick. Because some people do that. Some people just think, I just got to get a bunch of videos out to try and get my views. But in reality, they're not trying to think long term of like, I'm trying to create content for people. I'm trying to like, this is literally Saturday morning cartoons. Like that's what we're doing right now. Like I get messages from people who watched my videos 4 years ago and are like, I remember watching you every day in the morning. Or like, I had to like sneak away, like hide my iPad to watch your videos because you were swearing, like when I was younger. But it's cool to come back and watch your video. Like it's insane. Like people develop, like it's their entertainment now, So like people are so stuck on, we were talking about this before, like they're stuck on the level 1 of content creation where they're just kind of create content, right? Mm-hmm. They're not like on that second level of like, what is my content? Who's it trying to reach? What does it mean? Like, why is it reaching them? Why are they watching it? Why are they consuming it? Why am I making it? Am I making it just to make people laugh? Or am I trying to be like, am I trying to do a different type of entertainment where I'm also teaching? Or like, there's all sorts of different stuff, but people don't think about that when they're starting out. And I think a lot of people don't get past that, especially if they get that like beginning success where like we were talking a little bit about this, but I was like, I had a pretty big spike and I was doing pretty well early on. Like I had this really big spike and I was doing super sick, but I wasn't thinking about my videos at all. Like it took me that moment to think about, should I be swearing in these videos? Should I really be swearing in these videos?
Well, it's kind of interesting because when you think about swearing, like where you're 23 now, man. You're getting old. Yeah. You're getting old. I met you, man. You're a kid, and 21. I guess you're not really a kid, but I think about swearing just sort of it's like a natural thing for us to do. But yeah. I think it's. I mean, I swear in my stuff, but my audience isn't children. My audience is 25 to 36-year-old men. So your audience is kids, and that's quite an interesting dynamic because obviously you want to be yourself, but at the same time, where do you feel like the line comes between being yourself and then, I mean, it seems easier if you could be yourself completely rather than having to censor yourself or having to put up a front. And do you think that the most successful people at making YouTube videos and becoming professional YouTubers are people who are themselves, or do you think it's people who craft these characters to represent a certain type of thing that they think people want to see?
I think there's a couple different points that I think are valuable to mention within that. So first and foremost, I'm really of the opinion that like everybody, I don't care who you are, you deserve to laugh and have a good time, right? Like you deserve to be entertained, especially if there's entertainment out there that you could watch for free. Like everybody deserves to have a good time. And one of the biggest things that helped me when I was younger is just like being able to like read a book and laugh. And that was like super easy for me. So when I think of like how if I was to say fuck in this video, then some of my younger viewers, just their parents would literally just turn off the video. They're never allowed to watch me again. Like that just seems like a terrible waste to me. Like what the hell? I have, that person can never watch me again because their parents are controlling or something, or they're not allowed to watch videos that have that type of content, you know, maybe they're not allowed to watch like violent games. I'm a little bit figuring out how to surf the edge there right now, but like I really do think that everybody deserves to be able to laugh, and like I have no problem. It's so easy for me to be able to switch into a different mode of myself where, like, think about it this way. If you're hanging out with your like 6-year-old niece or nephew, you cannot swear for an hour, right? You will probably control yourself a little bit.
I'm not gonna swear for an hour.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Like it's not like it's some big emotional thing where you're like, oh, I just got to get this shit out. I got to say shit right now. I just got to do it. Like you don't have to do that, right? You get in, you're a different person. And I just think to myself, like, you know what? Right now I'm making videos, at least when it comes to Minecraft or this other game named Roblox, which is a little similar. When I'm making those videos, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I know that like I'm going to make this for my younger cousin, my younger nephew, you know, these kids who I would rather 100%, I would rather them watch these videos than watch my uncensored channel videos, right? I want to make those other videos. I want to make the videos on the other channel. But if I want my younger, if I'm just like imagining that's like my type of audience, I don't want them to watch that other type of video. I just don't want them to watch it because that's like, it's fucked up. You don't need to be seeing that kind of stuff or hearing like. I
don't know, man. You've been around kids, right? These guys are swearing a lot, buddy. My little brother, like these kids are swearing a lot.
But there's also the context of the jokes and stuff, like the mature jokes, you know. Like I
feel like kids say some dirty things, man. I mean,
sure, but
like that. But as a general though, I'm sure as you mentioned, like parents watching and stuff like that, you know.
Like it's more than just the kids themselves, you know. It's more than just
like
them.
a thing as you become a professional YouTuber, someone that makes a living and now you're relying on your income from YouTube, these are things that you pretty much have to think about or have to worry about.
I think you don't necessarily have to worry about them. I 100% think that if like for me, I feel comfortable not swearing, but I know that certain people are just like, that seems like a waste to me. That's not my type of content. And that's just not what I'm going to do. And then I'm like, okay, go for it. Like that's cool. Like, but I think you should have that discussion with yourself as a creator. Like what type of content am I trying to make? Who am I trying to reach? Because that's the conversation I had with myself. It was, who am I trying to reach? Who do I want to watch my videos? I want literally every kid to be able to watch my videos. Everyone. All of them. I don't want there to be a barrier. I don't want there to be like, he swears so this percentage of the kids can't watch the videos. I don't want there to be like, he plays Grand Theft Auto, which is a mature game, and I know that this section of the group can't watch these videos, you know?
Hard to please everybody though. It's hard to,
but I think that like I'm not trying to though. Like I want all of these kids specifically to be able to. I'm not trying to please all of them, but I want them to be able to look on my video, watch one all the way through and make that decision. My other channel is where like I'm specifically making my old style of videos for the older content or the older audience, because I know that I can make people laugh regardless of like, especially if I'm being.
You're a funny guy, buddy. I mean, I gotta be honest. You make me laugh when we talk. You're you know, I definitely
appreciate that.
I think so, man. I think so. Guys, we're live on Twitch. Chris actually said this dude's mad obsessed with kids. You're kind of sounding a little obsessed with kids, buddy.
Well,
but you're not. I know that you're not.
You're just asking me about my YouTube channel, which is. That's my audience. I
know it's kind of like if you're a Nickelodeon guy, you got to be thinking about what kids want, which is a little bit weird to
it's like the overacting kind of stuff, and like it's really like just It's like explosive laugh, like just being willing to like not care about laughing, you know, like at any time or making silly jokes.
Yeah,
not being
kids
embarrassed.
say something like, my little brother, man, I don't know what the fuck he's just weird, man. I mean, not weird. He's cool. He's my little bro. He's my guy. That's my fucking, my best friends in the world. But he's a little weird, a little unique guy. So kids like unique things. They laugh at. I think back when I was a kid. You're entertained by like shooting a hoop on the basketball hoop on this door for 7 hours. So,
like, no problem.
I guess, do you envision yourself doing something like this for? Been doing for how many years have you been in this now, Quentin? 6?
Going on 6, I think. No, 5, 6. Going on 6. Yeah.
So you're the valedictorian in high school. Obviously, you're a very smart kid. When it comes to knowledge, you got a lot of knowledge. The way your mindset works in a very GTO way, IMO, optimal in my opinion. So, you think about. Usually a guy like yourself probably isn't doing something like a YouTube type of. Usually you're a scientist or you're a lawyer or something like that. So I guess, is this something that you envisioned yourself doing when you first started, or did you sort of have other ideas for your own life that you wanted to get into?
So I think I've always just like when I was in high school, I was kind of a mix. I tried to like joke around in class. Like I was a little bit class clowny almost. Tried to push it a little bit. I think I got away with some shit because I was really nice and polite with the teachers. Because I mean, if you're nice with someone, you can fuck around with them and like have fun, right? You get a level of respect as opposed to someone who treats someone like shit and just tries to fuck off or fuck around. But I kind of want to clarify like the valedictorian thing. Like I started out that year. A month before graduation or whatever, a month and a half before graduation, they came up to me and they're like, okay, so like you're the #1 percentage in this grade, but there's a girl who's like real close. So we're going to do like this duo valedictorian thing. Like you'll both do like a speech at grad. It was a small graduating class and we were like 0.7% away or actually, I think it was even smaller than that. But then after that, I just started fucking around because like they told me that I already won essentially. Right? Mm-hmm. Like I already won. So I was like, all right, I'm going to fuck around a little bit. I stopped caring as much. I started joking around more in class, that kind of stuff. And I don't think I ended up being valedictorian by the end of the year because the girl who was also like up, like she was a very hard worker.
Listen, no one's gonna fact check us on this one, buddy.
Oh, they should.
They watching? Should. No, she's not. Ain't nobody gonna. I mean, they might fact check us. I suppose your principal might be watching now and say, "Hey, wait a second. No, he wasn't. He didn't make it." What's the GPA for valedictorian, Poppy? I have to know this.
It wasn't. I don't think it was based on GPA. It was just based on like who had the highest grade in the school. That's all.
That's it, huh? Just in the entire. Okay.
In the graduating class. Sorry. Like it was a 150 person graduating class. It wasn't that big.
I believe. Okay. Listen, that's still. I mean, trust me, that's still good. And believe me, a lot of people competing to do well in school. So. You didn't go to college. You didn't want to go to school.
Actually, sorry, I kind of forgot where the first question was. So, I ended up going to school. I started out. I had applied to a local college nearby, here in Central Alberta, Red Deer College, and I'd applied to start out. I wanted to go in math, some sort of math, because math is like my shit. I love math. During that entire period, or like the first. Or the last 2 years of high school, I was just like, in grade 11, I tried to like learn calculus early a little bit. Like I watched Khan Academy videos, that kind of stuff. Like I was just so into it. I love pattern recognition. I think that's probably what brought me into poker.
You like poker,
well.
Right?
Yeah, of course. And like all that kind of stuff. So I ended up applying for a Bachelor of Science in something or other, and I got accepted in a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Economic Statistics. So they were just like slamming all the math at me that they could, right? So within the like first semester, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too much. I'm kind of cool. And my YouTube channel's kind of doing some stuff. I was starting to get some views at the time, and I was like, you know what? I think I'd like to do something in radio. I was confident in my voice. Like I was confident in the fact that I could like speak in some way and like I could hold attention, but I was very self-confident when it came to my looks. At the time I was I think I was a bit heavier than I am right now when I was going into college there. So like when I was 17, right? And I was self-confident I was unconfident in the way that I looked, but I liked my voice. So I'm like, I want to go in something in radio. This could be a lot of fun. I like this YouTube thing. Maybe we do this. So I talked to somebody and they told me, hey, go for a Bachelor of Arts in Communications. I'm like, all right. And it turned out that just wasn't going to make it to radio. Like I should have just went to this fucking radio program at the U of A. But by the time that I figured that out, it was about a year and a half later, I was doing all right on YouTube. And I decided, you know what, I finally found out that, wait, this isn't going to go to radio for me. So I got to figure out something else. And I was like, I'm not going to switch majors again. This is just fucked. I don't want to be here at school anymore. So I just dropped and just make YouTube videos. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of kids end up in that situation. They end up going to college for one or two things that, you know, it's kind of crazy. You got to pick this thing when you're 18 years old. You got to pick what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life when you're 18.
Absolutely absurd. I think that the schooling system is just completely fucked right now.
Yeah, it seems crazy. Like, and then you got to redecide. You got to take a bunch more classes. It basically deleting these hours out of your life that you put into doing this thing. It does seem pretty.
I was super blessed in high school and school in general, just because I could or not really force, but I was able to find like quizzes. I was able to find like a competition in them and like tests and, you know, that kind of stuff. And like, I had a pretty good memory. So I'd try to memorize everything, you know, try to work within it. I was really blessed that I was good at school, like just at being in high school and like memorizing stuff and repeating it and like answering a test that's just essentially repeating it. And then once I got to college, like it just, like real life isn't like that. Like I wish they would have like changed shit up a little bit, because like, I think I was super blessed to be able to do that. But I know so many of my friends were just frustrated as all hell, and they found nothing that they enjoyed out of school. They found nothing that they enjoyed about even thinking about continuing on with school. Like it's fucked up, you know?
Well, it's kind of interesting in this day and age that you can not go to school and still make a living. I mean, I went to college for 6 months and I've done pretty well for myself in terms of my life and my lifestyle. And when you look at things from a lifestyle success or monetary success, I probably, you know, I think I'm a good example for that. Obviously, I feel like you're a pretty good example for that. Although my mom has told me this is not the norm, and I should encourage people not to go to school because you can make it in this day and age without going to school. I mean, obviously with the internet, there's so much, you know, there's so many resources in terms of learning new things, languages, you know, activities, hobbies, skills.
I mean, providing learning for others. Like if you're good at anything, someone will pay you to teach them how to be better at that. You just have to find a way to market it or like actually quantify it or like videofy it, you know, that kind of stuff. You just writing that down, huh?
Someone said, just tuned in. Who is this guy? I said, check the description.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say, Quentin?
I was just going to say, like, I think like there's this, especially with the internet, like school really doesn't matter anymore when you have experience. Like, and you can get experience being essentially a full production on your own here on YouTube without having to really spend much more than you would if you wanted to like be kind of a cool gamer, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of kids, I mean, you know, people might, you know, they might see you obviously you got the 1.8 million subscribers for something on YouTube, a couple 100,000 Twitter followers. You got good social media engagement, but a lot of people out there don't have anything. They don't have any followers. Like they have this dream of being somebody like yourself who's able to make a living playing these fucking games and just talking to people sort of thing. So I feel like, do you think there's a lot of people out there, you know, you think about gambling, maybe ruining people's lives or whatever, but do you think that there are people who have these aspirations of being professional gamers that end up sort of putting themselves back for 3 or 4 years and they can't make a living from it, and then they're
100%. I think like that's like there's a bunch of people I know that are like that. I mean, there's a bunch of just YouTubers in general who, unless they can get their mindset straight, they don't have anything afterwards. They don't have anything they can do after this. But like with the way that media is developing, with the way that YouTube is becoming like you need to be more professional just in general. And it's becoming even easier to look professional or be professional, learn how to be professional at least.
Yeah.
You could look up YouTube videos on how to make your videos look better. Like how fucking silly is that? The biggest thing is that most people don't try, or they try and they consider trying for making 3 videos trying. That's not trying to me. Okay. Trying is you make videos for 6 months. You make 5 videos a week for 6 months. That's trying, and trying out a different thing every week. Or maybe that's a bit too much, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's actually,
you put out 3,600 videos on your YouTube channel. I put out like 200 or 300 with these podcasts and videos over time. So I know that you're very big into trying. You're big into work ethic. You're big into those sorts of things.
I mean, you don't get results if you don't try different things. Like, and we were talking about this before as well, it was a while ago, but how, especially if you're a beginning YouTuber, you have to try out a bunch of different stuff, because it's almost like when you're a poker player and you're early on and you don't know exactly what you're doing, you have to invite that variance. You have to try out a bunch of different stuff to be able to like actually excel. Like, I don't know, maybe that analogy was a little bit of a stretch there, but like you have to be able to try out, you can't try and do exactly the same thing other people are doing. Like it's not going to end up working out. You're not going to do, I don't know, like you're just going to end up messed up in the muck. You know, you have to learn by doing.
No, I think that I sort of felt that way, but I feel like people may emulate someone's certain style, and then eventually that develops into their own style of things. And
sure, yeah,
and it's sort of like the inspiration comes from this, but then they can, you know, naturally you sort of develop your own thing. But I think if you always handicap yourself on relying on what other people are doing in terms of ideas and anything, then you're not going to be able to have that ultimate level of success.
You don't know what's actually going to be successful. Like literally, you can put out any video. I don't know what's going to do good on my channel. I never do. I mean, even if you're like a super duper star, you still have to define, like if you're a Dan the Diamond Minecart who gets hundreds of millions of views per month, you still have to define what success is within that, right? You have to define, okay, this video that I did within this game only got 1 million views, when normally I get 3 million views. Like that's crazy, right? Or whoa, this one only got 300,000 views. Even if you're a superstar, you still have to define that. Or if you're like the bottom, you have to still figure that out.
That makes sense. I guess for me, when I think about that, I define it as, I don't know. I never care about views. I guess I do things all backwards. I don't really care about that.
I mean, you're like making really good content, right? Like success is having a nice long at least for me, when I watch your videos, it feels like it's a really successful podcast when both you and like the person you're interviewing afterwards are like
conversating with Quentin.
Yeah, just like nonstop. Like, what do we talk about now? Like we can go on to whatever we want, right? It's like a conversation and it's honest, right? You have to break past that like little bit of like, what do we talk about? You know, like for the first hour, maybe get some trust.
Well, yeah, that's usually what happens is you build that little camaraderie with someone over that for a completely random person. But usually I don't have, you know, I guess I don't typically have super random people on. So I try not to, at least, because it just makes for not as genuine sort of discussion conversations type of thing. So
yeah. People have a lot of like generic responses they give to questions, right?
Yeah, like they give you, I mean, people are trying to make themselves look the best they can be, right? They're trying to, it's like you're meeting the representative, you're not meeting the real person behind the things. And that makes sense. These are some things that are viewed for, you know, by thousands of people. And anytime you have thousands of people viewing you, you obviously want to put your best front foot forward. You don't want to be like, yeah, I'm a fucking scumbag. I like cheating. I like, you know, I like drinking. I like abusing people emotionally and physically. Yeah, you're not going to come out and say that, even if that's what you like. I mean, you might. Is that what you're into, Quentin, or what? I don't.
I like drinking, and I like dancing.
Love drinking, buddy.
I love drinking. I love dancing. I love going out to the night. You know, letting my wings free.
Wait,
going out in the night, letting my wings fly.
You live in what's the craziest thing in Vancouver you've done so far then? Because I've done some. I'm going to tell you my craziest story.
I've been like, I went to, there was a Monster Cat did a takeover of a nightclub on Davie Street. Went to that. That was a lot of fun. I don't know. Like there was another club thing that a friend was DJing, or friend's friend was DJing at. Like I don't do much here, dude. I mean, I spend all my time here or like thinking about this. Maybe I go out and do errands. I do run out, or I like walking out. I mean, it's so fucking beautiful here in Vancouver. Like, it's hard not to want to go outside. It's so just, it's beautiful. But like, I don't really get out too much, you know? And I feel like for me at least, making friends is it's definitely a more difficult task. I'm a little bit more guarded, especially just mainly due to YouTube, you know?
What do you mean by that?
Well, within...
I mean, I know what you mean by guarded, but what do you mean by... I already know the answers to all these questions, by the way, audience, because I talked to Quentin a lot. So I literally know what he's going to say about all these things. So I'm just trying to lead him down the path I feel like will be the most informational for other people listening right now. So what do you mean by that? You feel guarded because of YouTube?
Well, I mean, I spent 5 years in this community, and it's not like you remain friends with everybody, or it's not like there aren't sociopaths within the community who are just willing to manipulate people or whatever. Like,
okay.
It's
got some names, brother, or what, man? Drop a name for us, man.
I'm not gonna drop any names. I don't like that. I don't like involving myself in drama. If you want to Google YouTube sociopath, I'm sure you'll find somebody. I don't even like. You could just Google that. I'm sure you'll find somebody. 100% sure you'll find somebody. But like, there's just like that. Think about it. It's one of the largest and easiest and cheapest. It's completely free way to reach people in the world, and millions and billions of people use it every single fucking day. So you're going to have people that are using it in a negative way, or when you're talking about making gaming videos, being a YouTuber, being a personality online, whether it's through, like, let's say your Instagram or your Twitter, there's certain people who are only interested in being your friend for X, Y, or Z reason. You know, certain people who will only, you know, record videos with you if you have X amount of views per month, or like if blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all like, I don't think that's right, but there's not much you can do about it other than not record with those people and make sure that, like, you, like, just don't promote that type of content in any way, you know? Like, because that's all you can do, is you can just make the best content you can do yourself. And I mean, if something really is super bad, I guess you could call it out. But like, if it's just something like that, like, oh, I won't record with you because you don't get enough views, then just let it go. Don't talk to that person. I mean, that person's going to dig their own grave within the community, because who the fuck wants to be friends with that person, right? Unless you're on their good side. But then, you know, you can't remain on. I've been in the community for 5 years. Haven't been on anybody's good side for the entire time. Like, you know. I
didn't know there was a side of things in the YouTube gaming world. I didn't know it was like.
There's a lot of people. It's a community.
Well, you speak about making friends. Plop a slap on Twitch that working from home, even poker makes it hard as fuck to make friends unless you push yourself. Sorry, kids. But I think that's true, is that anytime you work from home, it's going to be, especially when you're doing something that, one, you're not going to a job. Two, the thing that you're doing is probably not also done by many people that are around you on a daily basis. It's just going to be, I mean, for myself, it'll be harder to make friends unless you're really, really trying to. And most of your friends are going to be online friends, just because if that's where you're working at, that's where you're spending your time, that's what you're good at, what you're passionate about. That's what you want to discuss. And you can't, you know, like when I go to the gym to play ball, I can't like discuss doing podcasts and playing poker with those guys because they don't know what
they're in an entirely different world. They don't know anything about that, or maybe like they just don't like they don't have that level of understanding to be able to reach you on that, right?
Right. We got one of your guys here in the chat, man. Going for gold gaming. What up, Poppy? What's happening, brother? He said a couple sociopath examples, and I don't know these names. I'm just going to say them. Futuristic Hub, Basher, Keemstar. I don't know what those mean, but
no comment. I'm staying away from this one. No comment.
So like, what are there like YouTube get-togethers where all the YouTuber guys get together and like it's like?
I mean, it's mostly online that people like they just have their friend groups, you know, that they interact with, whether it's on Discord or Skype or TeamSpeak or, you know, whatever the fuck they interact with as a group. But then you have the conventions that come around. Like up soon, there's going to be Penny Arcade Expo West, I think it's called now, in Seattle. It's at the end of this month. I'm going to be down there for a week or so. I'm not going to the convention at all because I've been to a bunch of them. Video games, cool. I enjoy it, but it's like, I don't want to spend money to go and look at something I've already, like, I'm going to see in a month, or I could watch online on my phone, you know? I just want to go down there for my friends. And that's what ends up happening, is it's just a bunch of YouTubers coming in. And
are there groupies?
I don't really know about that. Like, I think that there are definitely people who within this community are trying to do, or from outside the community are trying to do that? I think so. Yeah.
You think I could get some groupies or something or what, man?
Homie, I think you got as many groupies as you want.
Okay.
You got groupies. You got groupies.
Right now, my audience, 97% men. Shout out to the men out there, but
3%.
I'm looking for the 3%, man. Listen, there's some like 18-year-old from Sweden that always watches the podcast. It always comes up on the view. So shout out to her if you're watching this right now.
What is it? 3% of 17,000. Hit me with some math.
But wait, you told me that the groupies are they typically end up being young, like young kids, right? That's a little.
That's just the majority of the audience, especially the majority of the audience that goes to like live events is going to be younger people. If you're a content creator, you can't be involved in that. You cannot in any way. If you're in a position of power, you can't date somebody you can't like be romantically involved with someone who's below you on the power spectrum, right? Because it's an imbalance. It's not right. There's like, especially if someone idolizes you, like that's just plain fucked up. Like, what the fuck are you looking for? You're looking for someone to be your slave? Like, that's just shit. That's some shit.
I've heard of. Listen, I'm. But you got to imagine a lot of,
consensual relationship.
A lot of YouTuber guys, a lot of the YouTuber guys, they probably. You don't grow up, you're maybe not getting all the chicks, so you're not getting all the girls, so now you're in a situation, you got a lot of girls that like you, or you got whatever. Like,
it's not an excuse. You can't slip. With you. It's not an excuse. You have to realize that these people idolize you, or they see you in a position of power. They think you can't do any wrong, like in some cases. Like it's something you can't do at all. Like you have to. I think that there are certain cases where it's like, let's say you have a big Twitter following, so some girl follows you on Twitter, but like if a girl's like a fan of your YouTube videos, it's like, that's so fucked. Like you meet people through Twitter. We just heard about that on the podcast, didn't we? A little bit ago, someone met through Twitter.
Phil Galfond, correct?
Yeah, Phil Galfond, and yeah, like it's just normal. But it's like if you're talking about a fan relationship, that's some fucked shit.
Wait a second, you're saying if the fans are of age, you shouldn't hook up with fans?
I don't think so. For me, that's like, it's a power dynamic. I'd feel uncomfortable. And I got to be honest, I have like trust issues so much.
Like my boy Drake and Justin Bieber, trust issues, huh?
Exactly. Big Sean, what does he say? I can't remember. Fuck. God damn it. I hate misremembering lyrics. But yeah, like you have to be fucking, or you don't have to be, but I'm paranoid.
What you mean by trust issues with people in general, women, or what happened?
I wouldn't say trust issues. I'm guarded with my trust. I very much so recognize that my trust, like the idea of trust is more to me than just like, this is my friend, I trust them. It's like, if I'm friends with somebody and I trust you, that means I trust you. Have my trust. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work for it. You have it. It's yours. If you break it though, you don't get it back after a week and a half. You don't get it back after a month. That's like, you have to show me that you changed or whatever the fuck. But it's something like, I think about the way that people might act in certain situations. If they act that way, then they'll eventually earn my trust. Like if I think that person's a good person, they'll act in this way. Their intentions are good. And I trust how they're going to act. Eventually they'll earn my trust. It's not like it's more through my own observation. It's less like, you have to do 500 push-ups before you earn my trust. It's nothing like that. It's just like, Can
you teach me how to do that with the voice? I don't know how I don't understand how you do that. That's like these sick voices are crazy.
You got to try. We're everything. When it comes to anything, you just have to try. And you got to experiment, and you got to just keep doing it.
Oh, listen, did I send you the Snapchat?
Creativity is a muscle.
Did I send you the coconut oil Snapchat earlier this morning? Oh, I don't think I clicked that. Wait, did I? I think I might have.
I was like, why the fuck is he sending me a coconut oil Snapchat?
Did you see that coconut oil Snapchat? That was, I was me acting. I was trying your voice. The coconut oil god.
You gotta just try personalities, right? There's this
I sent that out and put it on my story, but then I was like, I gotta delete this from my story.
Like you got to try it though, and I think there's even like it's almost like, especially when it comes to stuff like that, like silly voices, a big part of it, at least for me, is getting over being embarrassed or being like feeling silly, feeling a little bit stupid. That was like my big thing, is getting over that feeling. And like, it's once you realize that's your issue, you just start trying more, right? And I've been reading or listening to Tim Ferriss's podcast a bit, but I've been reading and listening to this other thing about stoicism. And Tim Ferriss mentions this specifically, but it talks about how like he practices absurdity or practices looking silly, practices embarrassment, because when it comes down to it, when it really matters, you don't want to be embarrassed. Right? If you're on stage and you have the shot to like actually go out there and like put on a good impression for some reason, to like do like a cool, I don't know, let's say you're at like a stand-up comedy show, you get a shot to actually go out there and do something. Why wouldn't you take it if you have the shot? Like, let's say it's in front of a huge crowd. I would want to go out there. I would want to have that experience, but I would hate for my embarrassment to hold me back. Right? That'd be so dumb, because then I'd feel even more embarrassed afterwards. Just like, I didn't go. Like, I can tell you a story actually. So my cousin Colin, he used to, I haven't heard about this for a little bit, but he used to run this event called Boonstock, where it was like a big music festival up in Alberta. Huge amount of bands would come into this field and be like a great party or whatever. And when I was like 12 or maybe 13, I think I was 13. He ended up getting the band Priestess to come. And I ended up going. I was having a great time. I was behind the stage. It was on my godparents' farm, so it was like I got the family treatment, right? So I was behind there. I watched their set. It was so amazing watching Priestess guys. And then they get off stage. They go to their trailer, and then my aunt comes up to me and is like, "Hey, you want to go meet them?" And I'm like, hell yes, I do. These guys are awesome, right? Go get taken over to the trailer. I get there, and they signed something for me. I'm like talking a little bit with them, and the one guy's like, so keep in mind, it's just me and them in there. One guy's like, "You want a drink?" So he goes to hand me a scotch. I'm like, "No, I'm only 13. I can't do that," because I was like too embarrassed at the idea of like doing something that's against the rules. Like, I could have had a drink with Priestess in their fucking thing when I was that'd be the coolest story, right? But instead I have to say I got too embarrassed and left. I think it'd be a cool experience.
You'll be drinking until you're 21 years old, sir.
Oh yes, well actually 18 in Alberta, which was fucking great, but
I think 18. That's against the law, my friend. We don't break laws around here on the podcast.
Don't break the TOS. No laws broken.
We do not break the terms of service appointed to us by the governments of our countries, my friend.
But I mean, it would have been a great story, right? My first drink is
okay. So wait a second. So you're saying you're in for anything that's going to give you a great story? Because there might be some things I might be like, "Hey, Quentin, why don't you come with?" And they might be a little out of line in Vancouver. I'll put it like that. I guess, trust me, you get some crazy stories with this philosophy. I'm telling you, this is how I end up living in Australia with this idea. Just do it for the story, do it for the fun. Don't say no.
I think it's less about don't say no, but I consider anything. And if the reasons that I don't want to do it are because I'm like anxious or like a little bit nervous or whatever, I'm just like, that's not a good reason. I'm sorry. You have to actually justify why you don't want to do it. Let's say I literally broke my ankle, and then you're like, "Quentin, we're going to go dancing tonight." I'm like, "Okay, that's a good limitation. Sorry, I can't go." But if it's, you know what I mean? If it's like, "Okay, Quentin, we're going to go dancing tonight," but I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk. I don't know if I want to dance. You know what? I'll have fun dancing, and I'll go. It's not a good reason to me.
What's your dance move, brother? I don't think I've seen. Did you dance in LA?
I don't have any specific dance moves. I just
don't be embarrassed, man. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed to show us your dance move, Poppy. Come on, let's see a dance move.
I don't know, homie. I mean, you just gotta like. At least for me, I have to feel the beat. I have to feel it. Feel it. Whoa, oh whoa, oh whoa, oh whoa. I feel like I don't know. I want to dance to some like some gangster stuff for some reason.
I'm gonna sing you a song. I got a song in me. I got a rap in me right now.
I don't know if I need. I actually need to. I need to let
dance. Yeah. I got a rap in me. Just let me know, man.
I need to. I need to take a bathroom break, homie. I'm drinking a lot of water.
Bathroom break. I'm gonna get some shout outs. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm watching this dude dance on a live stream at 7:30 p.m. on a Friday. What has my life become, Poppy? I think your life's become good, my friend Dylan. Who we got out there, man? Let me see what we got in the chat. Going for gold gaming, the new guy. What's up, new guy? Welcome to the motherfucking podcast. Thank you for the comments, my friend. Happy to have you contributing some good comments, buddy. Gotta say, man, welcome addition to the chat today. Chris, my buddy Chris Natsky. What up, Chris? Tim F. What up, Tim? Carl Adams, what up, Carl? Tim F, what up, Tim? Tim, as always, welcome to the stream. SIRCD, what's up, buddy? My buddy Thomas, seriously serious in the house, man. Always putting out some really, really good stuff. Has the best thumbnail game on YouTube right now. Let me see what else we got out there. Robum, ROBM, what's up, buddy? Cycling Guy on Twitch. Abar0907, what up, puppy? Singleton54, Plappa Slappa, Han8 Solo, what up, Han? What else we got? Unpractical, this guy is GTO. I agree, man. I definitely agree. Bram Visser, what up, Bram? What's up, buddy? Brian O'Connor, what up, Brian? Let's see. My buddy Jonah, what's up, Jonah Puppy? What's happening, man? 4:20 a.m. What is going on? Go to bed, buddy. What are you doing awake, Jonah? Better be working, man. Now that you have a break, got a question. How often is the podcast going on? The podcast goes on about twice a week, my friend. Twice a week. Twice a week. You back, Quentin? You're on mute. Oh, now you're back.
Yeah. What's good?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We were looking at your dance moves before you left.
Ooh. Got to get in there.
I'm turning into a professional dancer, by the way.
I can believe it. It. I'm an amateur mud wrestler. Nobody will pay me. That's why I'm an amateur.
I'll pay you to mud wrestle. How much do you need?
$500 an hour.
I'll give you 10.
Can't make a deal. Sorry. Got my rates.
How much would I have to pay? You would probably mud wrestle on camera, wouldn't you? If I got you like a girl to mud wrestle with potentially? I mean,
sure. Like yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time.
You're not opposed to mud wrestling, right?
I literally just said I'm an amateur mud wrestler.
How many actual mud wrestling matches have you had, though?
One. May long weekend camping with a bunch of high school friends. And there was a mud pit. And, got drunk and we were wrestling.
So what happened? How does that work? You guess you have your shirts. You guys go in the mud pit together, or is it like a?
I think I just wore like shorts. That's it. That's all I wore. I don't know. Other people were there in clothes.
So just a bunch of guys in a mud pit wrestling around, drinking, having a good time.
There were ladies wrestling. There's this crazy moment where my one buddy was absolutely absurd, whipping around in his tiny, I can't remember what the car is. It's like a Saturn, but it's like just a generic 98 Saturn kind of. In the mud pit. He was ripping the crap out of it through the mud pit, whipping donuts and whatnot. He took it up the side of this hill you normally take quads up. We had to get out at certain points because there was 4 or 5 of us packed in there to lift the thing up and to get it up the hill more, to actually lift it up.
In between wrestling. So you're wrestling, your shirts are off. You guys
No. Okay, this is another part of it. There was wrestling in the mud, but then we were ripping through the. Yeah, there are people wrestling. It was a fun time.
I actually mud wrestled before. I got to be honest with you.
Why not? Right? You're out there. It's mud. You just go in the river after.
I mean, I wasn't with a bunch of dudes mud wrestling. I got to be fair with you, buddy.
I'm not saying I was with a bunch of dudes either.
It sounds like there's a bunch of dudes in a mud pit with a Saturn rolling around. A bunch of guys wrestling with their shirts off. And
okay, you caught me. You caught me. Me on my man's trip. Heading out to the dude ranch, mud wrestling.
Conus says, those serious faces when talking about mud wrestling, I must say listen, I can keep the most serious face. I can talk about anything and keep a serious face. I'm one of the greatest face controllers of all time in the history of face controlling, my friend. We could talk about anything. I'd keep a serious straight face throughout the entirety of it. So let me read some comments we got in the Twitch chat today for you, Quentin.
Cool.
Let me see. Switch earlier said, I think a lot of this ties in with good parenting, IMO. Of course, in the modern age of social media, kids are exposed to the internet in some horrible language. My 13-year-old brother is a big fan of Husky and some other people like that. I've tried to shelter him somewhat, but eventually they're going to be exposed to the online world. Ties into good parenting, I guess. Just have to teach them good judgment and good manners.
I think so. I mean, one of the biggest things my grandmother and I was raised by my mom, so single mom up until she passed away when we were pretty young from cancer. I was about 12 or 11, I think. And during that entire time period, one thing that she was really big about, and my grandma was really big about, is just manners. You gotta have your manners. Gotta treat people with respect. Don't chew with your mouth open. Fucking, I don't know, just be polite, right?
Be a good person. Be a nice person.
Yeah, I think it starts there with just being nice to people, treating everybody with like a baseline of like, I respect you as a person. This is how I'm going to just treat you normally and great until you give me a reason to treat you in a different way.
And then I'm going to treat you like a motherfucking asshole.
Exactly. Fuck y'all.
Whoa. Got kids watching, buddy. Remember the demo.
My apologies. I mean, it's your podcast,
if there's any younger kids watching this from that are fans of Quentin and watch this long, shout out to you, man. Much love. How'd you guys come in contact, Joey?
Twitter, I think. Pretty sure it's Twitter.
We're starting to play some PLO. You watched the podcast, right?
Yeah, I was a podcast fan.
You're watching the podcast. You were getting into more poker, and I think I was one to tell you, like, man, probably shouldn't play as much poker.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you helped me figure out that like it's impossible to commit myself 100% or like to try and do that in any way to more than one thing. And like if I actually wanted to do poker, I would have to commit myself 100%, but I can't do that when I'm a YouTuber. And I'm like, this is just what I'm doing now. This is what I do. Like I'm planning in my head, and I've said this aloud a few different times. I'm planning that I'm going to be making YouTube videos for probably the next 3-4 years. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. And I think there's 100% a way I could transition out at any point, but that's what I want to do. I find it so enjoyable, and I have this vision of like I was saying before, you know, reaching as many people as possible, and that's not a short-term goal, you know. It's a long-term kind of vision as opposed to like a goal.
So reaching as many people in the world as possible. Obviously, you got the 2 channels now. You got Operation Husky Mother, and you got HuskyMUDKIPZ, of course. And so you got those 2 channels. I guess now the idea is just strategize, figure out what works best, what people want to see, what you enjoy doing, and then from there, it's just a matter of creating that content for people to see.
I mean, there's a lot of other stuff. I want to somehow, like, I'm really cool with the idea of sharing secrets. I hate that people aren't, because I think when it comes to creative secrets, at least, like, I want everybody to be making better content. Like, I really do, because when everybody makes better content, everybody's entertained better. And like, what I want to do, or what I've been thinking about doing, is keeping track of the progress that I'm making with my channel and all the different changes that I'm doing, because I'm doing stuff like I'm going to be trying to showify a certain series on my channel. Like, I'm going to work my way to try and do that, so that instead of it just being random videos, it actually has like a show aspect where, you know, there's like, it feels more like something you can watch every week, or you're expecting, you know, it feels like something that you're actually looking forward to, as opposed to just random videos. It comes out, oh, it's over, watch the video, it's them, yeah, there, woohoo. Because a lot of people just do that. They just throw out random content because they think it'll do well, as opposed to thinking of how they're going to improve it or anything like that.
Let's talk about we got a bet. Let's talk about our bet we have.
Okay.
So after a recent podcast, we started talking about making bets with friends to help them better their lives, and me and you made a bet pretty quickly after that. So tell people about the prop bet that me and you have together.
So we made a prop bet, and the bet is that both Joey and I have to go to the gym 5 out of 7 days a week. And if we do not, if you only go 4 out of 7, if you go any less than that, you got to pay the other person $100. So
every day that you don't go.
It's a little painful. It's a little painful. It can hurt.
We're about 2 weeks into the bet. Surprisingly, we've both been to the gym all those days.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my off days. I've decided like 5 out of 7, right? I've taken the 2, just because, like, for me, and I think this is where the bet comes into play, is like, for me, it's about just getting into there and getting started, getting into the habit, making it a part of my life. So like, my basic every day is to just go and run for 15 minutes. And then after that, you know, it's like, okay, let's add on the weights, you know, let's figure out where we can go from here, and let's just start doing the improvement gradually, as opposed to like me just trying to hop in there and be like, all right, we're going to start off with a superset of this. I'm going to go over to squats and we got to do this and that. It's like, it's not a habit. That's just something you're going to go do once and quit because it's hard. I need to make it a habit.
You've been doing very well with this so far. You send me Snapchats. We have to Snapchat each other, us at the gym. Although I do at home workouts sometimes, so I either record or Snapchat, show the other person the proof they actually doing the workout. And I got to say, this actually got me inspired to make a couple other prop bets for working out. And I'm essentially going to get in the best shape of my life. I kind of already am from an aesthetic point of view. But in terms of well, not strength, I probably want to be stronger than I was when I was younger because I was a fucking beast. But yeah, I'll never get back to that point. That was too much. But yeah, it's a great bet. I think that more people should be making bets with their friends like this.
Yeah, like ever since that Bill Perkins podcast, it's so clear. Like, why would you make a bet to try and humiliate your friend when you can make a bet, like a mutual bet that'll like improve both of you, or even just improve your friend? You know, like you got to do someone for someone else.
So when are we gonna step it up here and add part 2 we were talking about on, which is the diet part of things, buddy? I mean, my diet's already pretty good, but the diet's the next step. When do you think we're gonna add the diet part on?
I don't know, man. Like, we got to think about that. I need to start, like, actually using my kitchen more often. Like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't use it.
The easy way to start, right? You get the chicken you get the stuff already made.
You're right. Way
you don't got to make it yourself. So, and plus in Vancouver, they have a lot of places that'll deliver the meals, like, for you, and then you put them in the oven, you heat them up, and you can eat them.
I just need to go down to Whole Foods. I just need to do that. Just walk down the street.
We Googled, we looked up the address. It's not far.
Yeah, it's not far. It's like a mile and a half. Or no, it's like a mile away, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's like 15, 20 minutes. That's a little bit farther. I mean, Whole Foods before for me.
It's not that far.
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, 15 minutes walking isn't really that much. I think when I walked, it was like 5-10 minute walk to my Whole Foods there.
That's like walking. That's the one thing I think that's helped me change the most with my with my just health in general. Like we talked about this before. I was 100 pounds heavier than I am right now last year. And it was just because I started walking. And, well, another big thing was not eating pizza every fucking day. But, like, because I started actually leaving the house and walking. I don't know. I mean, some people tell me stories, but you don't know until you know. So when I actually started walking, and then, like, here it's just so easy. It's so beautiful. Like, I want to go out every day. Like, it just instantly, like, that movement. You know, it just gets you going and you're good. Especially if you're a heavy dude, it's like, it's great for your leg. Well, maybe not great for your legs, but it's a lot better than trying to like go and like run at the gym. Trying to run at a machine when you're 350 pounds, that's so tough on your ankles. Like, holy hell, right? That's a lot of weight to move around. Like, how much do you weigh, Joey?
I weigh about 180 right now.
It would really suck to put on a 170-pound heavy suit and try and run your normal rate, right?
Not gonna be able to do it now, man. I ain't about that. You still eating a lot of pizza or what, buddy?
No, I've started up again since my fucking brother started working at Panago. But I mean, it's on discount. No, it brings me salad most of the time. I asked him to do that instead. But yeah, it works for the Panago.
We gotta get this diet part on track for you, buddy.
We do.
The diet's like the next step of things.
It'd be so much more helpful because to lose weight, it's just like, I mean, pretty broken down, but it's like calories in. It has to be smaller than calories out, right? You have to expend more energy than you're taking in.
There, yeah. Never tried to lose weight. I'm only trying to gain. I never had to lose weight in my life. I just lose weight. If I need to lose weight, I'll go play basketball for 4 hours and eat 1,500 calories. So I guess I am thinking about the calories. That's true. That's true. Guys, let me take a couple questions from the chat here. I'm trying to keep the podcast with people who are new. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna do more podcasts in the future. No, I want to have you on more, man. I just like talking with you, buddy.
That'd be great. Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan for a huge amount of time.
I mean, we talk all the time. Let's like, I mean, we talk all the time. So like we do podcast worth of stuff like every day, I feel like. So I really like that idea, by the way, that you have conversations with people who really put you in a good mood, who really help you bring out the creativeness in yourself and help you bring out ideas in yourself and help you stay positive and aren't, you know what I mean? Like there's no complaining, there's no negativity sort of going on. I feel like that's really good for a person's mindset.
Oh, for sure. You have to keep your mindset like in a positive state, or at least like try and keep your thoughts going in the right direction, right? Start thinking negative, your actions take that like aspect on, or, if you're a content creator, your videos will start taking that aspect on. If you're a poker player, you might start taking that on in tilt, it might show itself in that way, or just in poor decisions. I mean, that is tilt, but like, You know, you got to keep a positive mindset. You got to keep thinking straight and in a proper fashion. Make sure that's the big thing. You got to find people who you can speak with who, yes, they keep you thinking positive, but they're also like checking your thought process. They're not just like, yeah, I don't care what you're saying, it's great. Nobody needs yes men. Nobody,
right, yeah.
nobody. You need people who will actually be like, well, I don't know. Like maybe if you like do these types of videos instead, it might help you in this way. Or like, I don't know, maybe you need to stop like, maybe you need to start actually playing more out of the blinds, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like you need someone to check.
Like life, even it's like life as well too.
Yeah. Maybe you need to start going to the gym because you have one in your building, you know? That kind of shit.
Put him in the GTO club. You're actually going to be in the GTO club. So that's that's already happened. Chupacra. Jeannie, Jesus. I don't know how to say his name. Gina Drick on Twitch says, Puppy, great podcast. Earlier on, Husky mentioned that the overall quality of content going up makes us happier. Was he happier with the general level of content 10 years ago? If not, is it because the general level went up? Isn't our endorphin system relative, not absolute?
Holy, what the hell? We're getting some like real crazy stuff there. I just think like if you look at television and you look at what they were putting out early on, let's say like in like the 50s and 60s with like their quiz shows and stuff, like the television we have now, who wants to watch that? I mean, sure, people want to watch that, but like look at like Daredevil, you know? Look at some of these insane television, Game of Thrones, you know, Breaking Bad. These things wouldn't have been possible like way back. It's only because we were able to really push and people kept on trying to improve and people figured out how to be better and like everything got better, that we were able to get better content that was able to entertain more people and really captivate them in different ways. I think that it's a good thing. That whole endorphins thing, I don't know about that. Like that's way beyond me. We're going to have to hit up some college classes or something.
I had to Snapchat that moment, my friend. Thank you. Do you have Snapchat for the fans? Do any fans follow you on Snapchat?
No, I've actually I've started using Instagram story. So follow me on there because that's like I get mad views on there. I'm not going to start a Snapchat up now. Screw that. Instagram has story. There we go. That's my Snapchat. Follow me on Instagram. HuskyMUDKIPZ. HuskyMUDKIPZ.
What do you mean? I thought your name's HuskyMUDKIPZ.
Somebody took HuskyMUDKIPZ and they just post, I think, butts. I think.
They post pictures of butts.
I think they were posting butts. Yeah. Like models' butts and stuff, you know?
Like models' butts.
Yeah. Ladies' butts.
Ladies' butts.
Bottoms, in fact.
They took HuskyMUDKIPZ and they post pictures of
But here's the thing, right? Because they aren't impersonating me, I can't do nothing. Or at least that's how it was before. I could probably get it now, but like I have 200 and whatever thousand followers on what's it called?
200,000 Instagram followers.
Or 100 and something thousand?
100-some thousand. I don't know anything about Instagram really, but that sounds like it's pretty good, right?
I think it's pretty good. I love my 259,000. Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to get a placement with my shirt off on your Instagram. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've never been honestly, dude. I've never really been on Instagram. I've been on Instagram maybe less than 20 minutes my entire life.
Especially for my audience, it's one of their main communication tools. I think one of the main social medias. Snapchat's a good thing for me, or it would be a good thing, but I don't like the idea or the maintenance costs of starting new things. We've talked about that before. I just really don't. Like when I start something new, I know that there's a certain level of, doing it that I have to do. And I'd rather just, at least in this instance, it's really easy for me to just adapt my Instagram and just start doing stories, occasionally. Rather than starting up a new Snapchat, start building up the following, spending time doing this, doing that. I'll just do Instagram.
Instagram me that what's that song? Snapchat me that. How's that go? Is that a song?
Yeah, I think I've heard that one. If it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Snapchat.
Man, my team's popping.
I don't like Snapchat. The too many people I follow on there, like, I just don't care what they're like. I don't care what they're doing. Maybe that's what I just don't care what they're doing. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe maybe you have to like follow basketball people on Snapchat.
I do. I like I like my basketball players, the NBA guys I follow. I like what they're doing. So.
You like what they're doing on there.
Yeah. I find more
if you're deciding to use Snapchat as a tool yourself, then you can't be thinking about it as like, do I like looking at other people's stories? Because that's not what you're there for. You're there to deliver the entertainment or whatever to people, or to like reach them and like that kind of thing. What are you using it for, right?
True. That's a good point. Let's see what we got in the chat. Matt Smith. He said, always great. Keep growing, J.I. Was there for the first pod. Much love, Poppy. Much love. Chris Eklund. What up, Poppy? Perfect start to the morning. You guys are bosses. Thanks, man. All right, let me find a couple more questions here. Thoughts on clickbait? I'm assuming it means clickbait titles on YouTube. Is that on YouTube or?
Yeah, YouTube. And I mean, there's clickbait all over the place, right? Like everybody uses it in some way. I think there's the term clickbait. It's like, for me, it's like that stuff where it's not descriptive at all. Like you say, you won't believe why, that kind of shit. Like that's clickbait to me. That's like complete, it's annoying, boring, like low level content that's really just meant to get eyeballs. That's all. So in that fashion, I don't personally try and consume it. And I don't my thumbnails or my titles and stuff, I try and take aspects. I try and take like thoughts behind why is like using red text. Why is that sometimes valuable in a thumbnail?
Color theory, GTO.
You might get that idea from clickbait. Why do I use that idea of like, you won't believe this, or like add question marks, like the fucking worst map ever, question mark. I mean, like it's trying to figure out, like it's trying to take inspiration from everything. You can't like limit yourself. I think that clickbait, like the specific stuff, BuzzFeed and whatnot, I just don't like that type of content. It's really low level. It's just like generic, like listing, and it's really just meant to get ad views. I do, however, understand that looking at the psychology of it can be pretty good for you if you're a YouTuber, especially if you can understand it. Or just a content creator in general. If you can try and understand why people are insanely attracted to those clickbait titles or the clickbait videos, you can figure out how to get more people to watch your good content.
Why are they attracted to it?
I don't know. I mean, there's the open loops they leave in your mind, like where they'll ask you a question or they'll like bring something up and they'll be like, you'll have to wait till page 8 to find out. It's like when you tell people that, or when you give them that thing, it's almost like a little mystery. People are curious. They want to figure out what the hell's going on. Those open loops that you leave. I try and do that in my videos sometimes where I'm like, later on in the video, we'll talk about the new channel idea, whatever the heck. Right now, though, we're talking about this thing, blah, 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 blah. And then later on, you talk about that other thing. And it closes the loop for people. But during that time period, they're like in their head almost like waiting for that. It might be a little bit psychologically like not true, but that's how I've been seeing it, is like whenever someone gives me a question and like I want to know the answer, right? And it'll eventually, hopefully in the content, come out.
Okay. My buddy David Huber in the chat says, thoughts on the pro syndicate / TMAR TN CSGO controversy plus feedback Quentin has gotten from the community.
Oh, damn. Well, I think that the disclosure stuff, they gotta handle that, The
What's that mean for us uninformed people out here?
Sorry. So there was an issue with disclosing that they were owners of website. I'm not going to comment on the specific facts of everything, but like you got to disclose if you're an owner of something and you're promoting it. That's just what you have to do. And the fact that they didn't do that isn't good. I think that everything is like, there's information out there already. It's just like, you got to disclose if you're an owner of something that you're promoting. Like it just makes sense.
They were promoting a site.
CSGO
gambling with CSGO, Counter-Strike Go, or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, CSGO skins. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't like. I was playing some of that stuff. Like I was doing some of the CSGO gambling actually on some of those websites at one point when I was playing a lot of CSGO and opening up cases, and I got some skins, and I just like went and like just threw them on one of these websites or whatever. But like their issue is just in that. I think their main issue was in the disclosure and how they handled it. I don't know. Like it's not. I don't know. You got to disclose that stuff. That's about it.
All right, kid. Leave the people with two thoughts. Give them with two pieces of life advice from yourself, my friend. That might help people out there that are looking for something. Looking for something to believe in, looking for something to cling to, looking for hope to hold on to.
I think the number one thing is that, at least for me, that I've been thinking about lately, is that you haven't failed until you give up. Like, as long as you're still working, and as long as you're still trying to think of productive ways to continue in the positive direction, you know, then even if you aren't meeting others' expectations, or even if you're getting negative feedback, even if people are hitting you up in the comment section being assholes about it, it doesn't matter, because you're still working. You're still going. They might not be. They're just the fucking peanut gallery. Who cares about that? There's one thing I listened to the other day. It's a quote. I can't remember who it's by. I think it's by Teddy Roosevelt, but it's about the man in the arena. And the idea is that you don't listen to the people who aren't in the arena with you, the people who aren't in there, you know, sweating and like bleeding, you know, the people who aren't out there actually doing the work. I think that there's value in the critiques, and you should take that. You should like find the value there. But as long as you're trending in the right direction, you haven't failed, and you can't let yourself be bogged down by that, you know? I think that's maybe my number one.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You got one more for the people? I mean, that's a good one, man. You got one more? For
sure. I guess maybe when it comes to YouTube, my number one tip is to just, if you're thinking about it in any way, if you're like, I just want to maybe, I want to record this video. Why didn't I record when I was playing that game with my friends the other day? If you're at any point along that, or if you're just thinking about trying to teach someone something, record a video of it. Just do it. Put it out there. See what the response is. You can even disable comments if you want. Like, who cares? You know, you don't even need to listen to the comment section. Just make videos, get some response from the people that you care about. Be like, hey, you know, this person told me that the person that I actually trust, Joe over here, said to me that that video wasn't very funny or informative on poker that I made the other day. And, you know, maybe I have to work on this one aspect of it. I mean, obviously you wouldn't say anything so base as that, but you'd be the person I'd care about in that aspect. I wouldn't let random XYZ commentator bother me about it. I'd just like start doing it and just do it and just make videos, listen to the people that you actually care about and that can make a positive change in your life. And don't listen to the negative buttheads.
Let's leave it on that note. I like that a lot, man. People, if they want to find you, Quentin, people out there want to know more about you, if they're interested in checking you out, following along with your pursuit to get everybody in the world to check out your stuff, where can they give them the stuff? We got Musky. Go ahead.
We got HuskyMUDKIPZ on Instagram, HuskyMUDKIPZ on Twitter, HuskyMUDKIPZ on YouTube, as well as Operation Husky on YouTube. Business email, HuskyMUDBiz, BIZ @gmail.com. I don't know, like, I think I had a MySpace ages back.
MySpace.com/
No, I don't have a MySpace. I wish I did though.
HuskyMUDKIPZ or something like that?
That'd be the shit. Bumpty Dumpkips. That's what I'm about.
Bumpty Bunkips? Bunky Bunkips?
Bumpty Bumpkips. Yeah.
All right, Quentin, man. I appreciate you coming on officially on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Following along. We'll get you back on here in the near future. I mean, we'll
looking forward to it.
We'll figure out some fun things to talk about. So
heck yeah.
Guys in the chat, appreciate all the comments. Going for Gold Gaming. Much love to you for coming here and providing some good stuff to the chat. Appreciate that a lot. Guys on Twitch, guys on YouTube, be back on Monday or Tuesday with Daniel Negreanu. One of the most popular poker players in the entire world, Daniel Negreanu, will be here on Monday or Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be Biffer. Biffer. And that's it. Much love, Quentin.
Peace-a-roni.
I'll chat with you probably after this. Guys in chat, much love. Peace out. Adios. See you guys later.